This week, I am excited because I have a person who just has such a great mindset in life, and I can sort of relate to him in a way because space, something I really am just learning, but I'm excited about, is this gentleman. And I really love the description of his book, The Man with Zero Talent, How I Reinvented Myself, Renewed My Zest for Living, and Rediscovered Lasting Purpose. And the description says, in a world where many give up far too soon, settle for mediocrity, and engage in meaningless pursuits, there's a voice in the wilderness that shouts, no, I won't accept anything less than an awesome life. And that voice belongs to Sanjib Nandi, a man who made the life-altering decision one day to discard negativity and embark on an odyssey of epic proportion. And I'm very proud to have him on the show, and I'm very excited to share it with you. Enjoy the show, The Man with Zero Talent, with Sanjib Nandi.
Thank you, Chrissy, for inviting me in your podcast. My name is Sanjib Nandi. I'm basically from India. I have lived there for 26 years. I moved to London in 2002, and I have lived and worked there for 5 years. And I came to United States in 2008, and I have been living here for the past 14 years. I'm a pharmacist by profession. And in 2021, I wrote my first book, The Man with Zero Talent. And in 2022, I launched my free app, Luvo. It's about health and wellness.
Very nice. So The Man with Zero Talent, this is actually your personal story about finding purpose and meaning in your life, which became a big focus for you. So can you share a little about why that story is important for you and share a little bit about what your book is?
So my book is about self-transformation and self-help. The first chapter of the book is Life is Messy. And I started with a story of Paul Kalanithi. He was a neurosurgeon, and at the age of 36, he was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. So one day he was a doctor treating the dying, and the next day he became a patient surviving to live. So he has the same question. If all living organisms die, what is the meaning and purpose of this life? And something similar happened to me. From 2013 to 2016, I was struggling in my life. I was anxious, I was depressed. There were certain situations or circumstances in my life which I was not able to handle it properly, which lead me to my downfall. And there came a point in 2016 where I realized that I have to do something to correct course my life, otherwise it will go downhill. So at that point, I started thinking about what is the meaning of my life? And the right question should be, what is the meaning of life in this pain and suffering? Because we all have to go through pain and suffering. When everything is going good in our life, and when we are happy, then the meaning of life is very different. But when we are really struggling and we are depressed, then we have to find the true meaning of this life. As you know, that our mind is very powerful, but restless at the same time. So my mind was pulled in a different direction, and I was not able to concentrate or focus, which led me to dive deep into meditation. So I started devoting 5 or 10 minutes every single day so that it can control my restless mind. After doing it for 6 months, I see, so much changes in my mental state that eventually led me to run my first half marathon and a full marathon in a course of 1.5 years. But that gave me so much of confidence and so much of self-esteem that I realized that I have so much potential and that every human being has so much of potential, lying inside them. So that was the ultimate reason of writing the book. And once I wrote that book, I thought of building something so that I can reach more audience. That eventually led me to make my first app, Luvo. It's a free app, and anybody can download it from Google and App Play Store. So, once I have come out from a negative state mind to a positive state mind, the goal was how to reach our full potential. Because, everybody wants to be happy, healthy, and successful. So what are the tools you can get so that you can reach our full potential? Because that is the ultimate goal for every human being. And I can definitely say that if somebody reads my book, they can definitely improve themselves by 25 to 30% in 6 to 8 weeks. I have talked about different aspects of life like eating healthy, gratitude, about exercise, about meditation, about leadership, so that we can live a life which is meaningful and purposeful.
I love that you talked about incremental change, that you started with 15-minute walks a day, and it was a year and a half later that you started to run. And I think so many people are looking for instant gratification, the small victories. There's a saying I love called never despise the days of small beginnings, because that's where it all starts, right? Is in just taking the little steps. And sometimes we try to see the whole road in front of us and try to fast track, but it's not about that. It's also the journey of who we become. If you did it in a much shorter time, you may not be as fulfilled as you are today, correct?
Definitely, yes. You are absolutely right that we have to do improvement in increments so that it stays with us. If we are trying to do instant gratification, it does not stay with us for a long time. It's all about taking the journey, because, there is no joy in the destination. Like Michael Phelps, he was the greatest Olympian ever born. When he reached his destination, he won so many medals. He was depressed the next day because he doesn't know what to do with his life.
Yes.
So it's not about the destination, it's about taking the journey and improving yourself every single day.
You mention in your book, and you talk about this in articles, the law of reversibility. Could you share with the audience what that is?
So as Christy, you know that our physical and emotional health are not two separate entities. They are closely interwoven in what is called the mind-body connection. So we can say that the body affects the mind and the mind affects the body. Now, let us take the example that we are in a negative state of mind. Due to any reasons, can be because of anxiety, it can be because of guilt, it can be because of any unknown fears. What happens? We start thinking in a negative way, and all our thought process are negative. And the same emotions we feel in our body. And when we started feeling those emotions in our body, different physiological changes happen in our body. Like we release stress hormone in the body, which is in turn increases the heart and respiration rate, which will eventually lead to high blood pressure. And you can see that, different chemicals are released, like, it will produce more acid in your stomach, and you will have acid reflux because of this stress. So you can see that negative state of mind is changing your physiology in the body. Now, assume that you change this physiology intentionally by implementing exercise like walking or jogging. Then you can change your state of mind. How? Because, when you are going for a walk or a jog, you will feel much better. Your feelings will improve. And once you are feeling better, you will have a clearer thinking. And once you are thinking clear, your state of mind will change to a positive state. So I have named this the law of reversibility, which says if your body feels a certain way, in this case positive, your mind will act in a manner consistent with that feeling. And if your mind acts in a manner consistent with that feeling, even if you don't feel it, the law of reversibility will create the feeling that is consistent with your mind.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great point to make, is that sometimes people think, oh, if I have a negative thought, I'm failing at this positivity thing. And no, you're going to have all sorts of thoughts, but the idea is the ones that you pay attention to, right? And you have techniques to turn down the ones that are not helpful and turn up the ones that are helpful for you. It's all just about managing your response to the brain doing its thing. So negative thoughts are still going to happen. It's all about how we respond to them. So that's a very good point.
Have that within themselves to become, bigger and better. Mm-hmm. And if I can do it, I definitely say that, all the human beings can do what they think they wanted to do in their life. So these are the few things which is in store. I don't know how far I can reach, but I'm confident that if I put my energy and efforts, I can, definitely do much greater things in my life.
And you're going to have a lot of fun doing it, it sounds like. So
oh yes,
that's amazing.
Yes. It's definitely hard, but it's definitely, fruitful.
Fruitful. Yes, absolutely. I always say anything worth doing is worth doing poorly at first, right? It's always hard in the beginning. And then once you get the hang of it, it's really quite amazing. It's that sense of accomplishment. Is there anything that you would like to leave the audience with? Any last thoughts?
Means the last thoughts which I remind myself and I remind my son to do is, keep working on yourself. Invest your time and resources in building yourself up. It can be your communication skill or writing skills, or it can be like pursuing your goals or dreams, or it can be, improving yourself physically or mentally.
Thank you so much, Sanjib. I will make sure everybody has the link to your app and to your book in the show notes. I really appreciate your time joining me today, and it's been a pleasure meeting you, and I'm really excited to stay connected. So thank you. So don't forget to go to your app store and download Luvo. I have been working my way through the root chakra healing portion. I think I mentioned this in my last episode that for my healing journey from COVID and everything, I'm starting right from the bottom again. But I've been really enjoying the meditation and breathing exercises. It's a really beautiful app. So I hope that you check it out.
Introducing Luvo. Reach a calmer and happier you with our meditation audios. Keep track of your health with the exercise tab. Monitor your heart rate, water intake, and mood checks. Never worry about a bad night's sleep with the sleep tracker. Access these features and more with the smartwatch. Download our free app and start living your best life.